I'm going to talk about a series of art I did called Heraldry of the Sun. It's a philosophy of light and color. This whole series, there's 12 symbols, okay, and they're on color. And what I did was I kind of took philosophy of time and like space and like just the construct of time. And what I did was I attributed it to a part of nature, to a color. And I took that symbol and it became a pictogram. I liked it would because of where that color shows up in nature, like where the association is. Okay, it's just a ring, it's a circle. Okay, it's zero. It's zero. It's infinity. It's the paradox of existence. No end and no beginning, and therefore no point of reference for anything to begin. No roots, no seed. Therefore, nothing could exist. It's the paradox of existence, you know, because you couldn't begin from anything. It's infinite. Okay, zero. How can you get something from nothing? If the Big Bang exists, where did the Big Bang come from? You know, how do you get something from nothing? You know, that's the paradox of our existence. But the leaf is here because we know we exist, because we live. Okay, so that's what this is. That's and green, it just fit with green, you know, and it's like infinity of green. So, all right, now here we have another concept. It's the opposite. This is like a point in time. Okay, this is like instead of a circle, you know, of infinity, we have an infinity of existence. Okay, we have a linear transition. We have instead of zero, we have one. Okay, and one counts up. It's a grain of sand that keeps multiplying in different grains of sand. Okay. Now, green gives us food. You know, the trees and everything. Why this is red is because, and I have the immortality. You know, the ankhs up here for immortality, and the pyramids for a direction to go in. Okay, as things progress. But like, why I attribute this to red is that we are immortal in a sense, okay, in our bloodline, and red I associated with blood, like, was one place, oxygenated blood, life, you know, like you have plants and you have animals, you know, like, that's important, I think, I don't know, but that's why, I put this with red, okay, so it's, like, one thing. So we'll get into, and it's neat because these are opposites on the color wheel, you know. Yellow, we have yellow, talking about time, and like where does yellow show up? Like everywhere, like, you know, it's hard to pinpoint yellow in nature. The sun is the main thing, like a child will color the sun yellow. But this is the speed of light, okay? This is the past and the future happening so fast at the speed of light that there's no time to react. Everything is cause and effect. It's just a chemical reaction. What's natural for you to do, you're going to do it. It's natural for you to not do what you think is natural. Is, you know, you can argue. It would be natural for you to argue. It's all a chemical reaction, just cause and effect, okay? It's who we are. That's what this is. And it's just in yellow. And we'll go to the opposite. So time is happening so fast that the present doesn't even exist. It's meaningless. Okay? So, opposite of yellow, purple. And here we have two chessboards supported by the four branches with the hand facing on there. This is supposed to be like an hourglass, okay, but the glass is missing. What it really is the chessboards represent a situation, a still frame, okay, like a chessboard. It's a situation. Make the next move, you know. So it's like you have one frame in the film reel and then the next frame in the film reel, and you have the sand passing through the hourglass, but it's still, it never moves, okay? So it's like, time is like that. It's like motion is a paradox. You can't move, you know, because there's always an infinite number of halfway points. You know, you're always going to a 0.5. You can never get to 1 because there's 0.25. It just goes on forever. It's an infinite number. So that's where you kind of have, and it's the opposite of yellow. This is the time we actually have all the time in the world. All right, but anyway, purple, I put this with purple because I felt purple surrounds everything, and purple isn't really in the light spectrum. It's like infrared, ultraviolet. It's linear, and then the color wheel is between red and blue. All right. When you think of orange, you think of fire, you know, decay, things fading, you know, it's like fire energy. And when I drew here, as far as a time theory, I just attribute, I thought it was fit orange because of the fire and the destruction. And this is like time travel. It's just you know, the smoke rings represent wormholes pretty much, or vortexes that can just go to anywhere. Time, like maybe fire can go anywhere at any point in the time stream. Okay, and it jumps around in any direction. And it's just as the skull is there just to represent how all the contradictions would kind of equal at death, how you change the past and it's going to kill the present, you know. So it's like, that's just what this represents, is the theory of the time stream. And why orange is because of fire. Okay? Opposite of orange is blue. Okay, so that's like the time stream going in every direction and just collapsing because it's constantly changing. Here we have a time stream complete. Okay, we have this rose bush, this vine, is our continuum as the time stream. And the roses represent good things, the leaves represent bad things, and the thorns represent bad things, you know. It's all how it feels, you know. And that's what this is supposed to be. And the pipe here and the chimney, the smokestack, kind of represent how this is just a hinge. This is blue because I just like this, how it just seems to be absorbing everything, you know. And blue's kind of sad and infinite, just melancholy. You know, and I call this, you know, I say this is where the ocean meets the sky. If you can think of water evaporating, like where the ocean meets the sky, just blue, you know? And it's like a hinge. It's just a section of the time stream. Like this is our present, you know, and the rose bush just goes forever, ever. But whatever, never mind. So that's kind of what this is. So it's our whole time stream. It's the opposite of orange. So here we have like 3 sets of opposites. Okay, you have yellow, blue, and red as the primary. And green, orange, you know. You can look at this a million different ways, but what makes this neat is I did this. I came up with this stuff, okay, and I didn't really know that it did this train network, and it all went together to create this train network. There's more too. There's the other colors. But it's just really cool if you can see the train, and we can give the train motion too, okay? And we can see time working. The speed of light, okay, everything traveling at the speed of light, these roots, that cause and effect, right, is passing a point in time, making a point in time not exist. First of all, it's passing it, it's making the chessboards collapse because the point in time doesn't exist. You understand what I'm saying? So the next chessboard falls into place, causing the grain of sand to be smoked. The vine grows a little bit. There's a new ring and there's a new puff coming out. You know, a new place to go or to leave from. You know, we time travel to the next point in time. Okay, which is there's just so many points in time to go. That's like the coal car. So you can see time happening. Okay, now that's the train. That's like. Then we look at the railroad tracks. Just what a train symbolizes. It gets pretty cool. Okay, there's other parts. There's the other colors, the negative color. Okay, and I have it just down here, like in the book, different ways. All right, black, the color black. This was the first one I painted, was the color black, and it's something I want, you know, I should be known for someday, and it's the doing characterizations. I like to draw the solar system. I draw the solar system in a lot of different ways. I just, it's like my own little analysis, you know. Spiritualism behind the solar system is cool. And this represents, these candle flames represent the 4 elements, and this is just kind of the unknown. And each tower, this is Neptune, Saturn, Uranus, Earth, Mercury, Mars. This is the sun, okay. Jupiter, Pluto, and Venus. Jupiter has this like pendulum, like a hypnotic thing. Like Venus, I like the ball, the green ball too, is neat from, if you've ever seen the movie Heavy Metal. And growing up, there was cartoons that used to come on Night Flight on USA Network. And, one of those cartoons was that green ball from Heavy Metal, like a pinball, and it was flying around the cities, and it was lighting up different buildings, like a pinball machine. It was flying around the planet, lighting up different landmarks and stuff, like a pinball machine. It was really weird. And I just like the Heavy Metal ball as a symbol. I use that a lot. What this is the solar system trying to figure out where it came from. Okay, it's like the birth of the solar system. It's like one reality inside of here. There's one more step back into time to figure out where they came from. And if they're traveling back in time, this is the end. This is it. This one step back is before the Big Bang. There's nothing there. It's black. It's empty. It's void. So this is just a cartoon I used as one reality, and that one reality is the void, is the color black, is the nothingness. Okay. And that's a concept of time. It's just that it doesn't mean exist. Gray, we could skip to gray instead of going to white. Gray is neat because if nothingness is black, and then everything would be white, would be the oneness, right? And then in between would be that proportion between nothing and everything. Okay, so this is like the great balancer. This is the neutral force that just balances everything. It's like what's in between the yin and the yang, you know. And I put a door in here to show just the opportunity that is, the proportion, the weight, you know. It's the opportunity for experience, you know. And that's just what it is. And nothing's more neutral than a door, you know, a doorknob. Like, dumb as a doorknob, right? Like, nothing's more neutral and just as an object than this. And I like it because of the outhouse of the moon in there too, because I threw that in there. It's supposed to be like clay or ash or, you know, gray shows up in nature. It's like proportionate, you know. It's like clay and ash is a great example. There's other examples too. I just can't think right now. A gummy eraser. But just gray, you know. The moon is a great example of proportion too, because the moon is proportionate to the sun from the distance to the sun to the earth, and the distance from the moon to the earth when the eclipse happens is the same circumference. They line up, and it's just perfect proportion. And the moon is just a great example of how it is. And that's just how time is just neutral. It's just an opportunity it's a door of opportunity. Time is, it's pretty simple philosophy right there, right? Okay. And that was, black was our railroad station, and gray was our switch tower, okay? And white is actually our railroad tracks. I call this the edge of space, because like space, the Big Bang happened and it's expanding, okay? And it happened when all the colors, when the rainbow, like just kind of when all these philosophies crashed together and created a nebula and energy, and just time, the friction of like time contradicting itself and coming together. Okay, so parallel universes. I don't believe in parallel universes. You know, and I'll explain that in a minute. But there probably is. There could be, but it doesn't matter. They never touch or connect or split or whatever. It's just white. This is everything, so it includes everything. This is the multiverse, the universe. This is the parallels of the multiverse and the universe. Everything that's possible is supposed to be symbolized. White, you know. Alright. This is symbolism. Brown is earthy, okay, the earth, and I figured stone, the earth was just like it's written in stone, you know. And I believe symbolism itself, brown just represents symbolism, and that's kind of where the universe comes from. It's just symbolism, how these philosophies actually symbolized something and came together. To produce brown, okay, to produce the proportion, it became something different, okay, and that's where we get the friction and the energy behind the Big Bang. So these different philosophies actually manifest to create, you know, time. So this is my theory. But here I have Nordic runes on mummy wrap, and why I have that is just it's a history, you know, it's fossils, you know, it's the footsteps we leave in nature that tell the story. Silver, this is supposed to be silver, and it's a reflective color, okay? You have silver and gold as reflective colors, which we perceive them as colors, you know. The silvers are the light metallics, and the golds are the brown metallics, you know. You have like white and black, or gray and brown, okay? Reflected in light, okay? So it's what we're seeing is the reflection of light. But it still has a tint, it has a shade to it. Why? Why do we perceive gold? Why do we perceive silver? It's kind of a mystery. But anyway, I believe silver, you know, just, you know, every cloud has a silver lining, just silver, true silver, the superstition behind silver. This is dreams. This is my dream computer, okay? This is the computer that processes our realities into a world of symbolism and words. We can create with this machine, you know. But this, it only works, you know, that's the steam whistle, you know, it works, but it's like, you know, you gotta wake up, it's dreams, you know. So it's like, that's kind of what this is, that's what it's supposed to be. It's magical, industrial, and high-tech. But whatever, silver, you know. Gold. Here's my symbol for gold. Oh my god. Oh. Silver could have been in the train. I have it as the water tower. I like it as the water tower because it reminds me of lightning, the silver symbol. But it could also be the whistle on the steam train too, because gold rides on the train too. It can be in the station, or it can be in the train. And this is the cargo. And here we have the opposite of dreams. If that's white, if dreams is white and everything, and they're free as creators, that's great in your dreams. Then there's the dark side. Okay, there's reality. Okay, this bowling ball. It's reality, our waking consciousness, you know, it's like it has weight, it's solid, it's mass, you know. Bowling just symbolizes an ancient sport, and it's just the best symbol for reality I can come up with, you know. Because like the game of bowling itself, you know, it's like just reality, you know, right? You gotta wear the right shoes, you don't cross the line, stay out of the gutter, you know, if you don't strike it the first time, pick up the spear, you know. So it just has a lot of things, you know, hanging out. You know, it's just it just makes sense, you know. So it's just this, you have the weight, the density is just you know, the mass, and that's all 12 of the symbols. Okay, and if you go back to the train, which we won't, because it shows how time works. The train showed how time worked. Okay, how all these different philosophies come together to balance each other, and we perceive it all the time. It's when we mix colors, when we look at colors, as we perceive it, you know, it's interesting, you know, but we can understand time by looking at it this way. You can look at time in a different way, I think, and I kind of see how these philosophies come together by looking at the train, and I kind of came up with a little theory of my own, which I call the onion effect. Which is a theory, a scientific theory, but this is like where the Big Bang came from. The singularity of the Big Bang, as all these philosophies came together. Like time became different states. Like the past is a solid state because you can't return it. It's like stone. And the present as a liquid state because it kind of bounces back and forth. Part of it, the ripples. Part of it's the future. Part of it's the past. It's bouncing back and forth. Those things, forces are affecting each other. And then I have the future as a gaseous state because they're positive. The future is everything's separated, drifting, like, you know, like here. It's a gaseous state. It's light and dense. You know, it's not dense. So there we have those three different states of time that are in different dimensions and can't touch each other. Correct. Okay. So that's 0. It's the chaos of the Big Bang. Okay, there we go. Alright, so let's say, you know, that these forces, they can't touch each other. It takes like a comet is the same thing as the liquid, the gas, and the solid. As a friction creating this energy, this is a great symbol of time. A comet is a great symbol of time happening. Okay, it's also a great symbol of an electron. Okay, you would think that as space and time fought to contain each other, okay, as these philosophies struggled with each other to balance each other, that a certain amount of friction was created, that they surrounded each other. Infinity will surround each other. Okay, like space will surround time and time will surround space, and that's your yin and yang. Okay, you have that. And they'll always be separate, but they'll always be one at the same time. And that creates a friction as they contain each other. You see, you have one time and space contained in the electron or the comet, okay? As it contains it, you get another electron or another comet, okay? And you go through until you have the periodic chart, which is how much our the consciousness, the God consciousness can handle it. In fact, this is where creation points happen. Okay, like the onion effect, just because the Big Bang, okay, is the beginning, that doesn't mean it's the actual beginning. It's just one end of the ripple. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Stars are probably creation points that time needs to hit, that train needs to hit all these points to complete itself. Because I think that time sorted itself, balanced itself out by different creation points, and that time is layered, and our solar system actually reflects the layers of time, okay? Because you can look at the 4 elements and the liquid state, gaseous state, water state, and you get the energy, the friction creates fire, which gives us the time travel, which lets us go from the past to the present to the future. You know what I'm saying? That energy, that friction, every time we burn a calorie, every time the sun shines, whatever, that's that energy. We're time traveling, we're taking the next step, you know? It's awesome. But anyway, I got off the point. The onion effect, the solar system being layered. What was my point? Because if you look at the past and how it affects us and the possible, if you were to change the past and possible futures and stuff, and you just how everything's creating a ripple in time, okay, and it all comes together. It's the onion effect is awesome, and to sort all that out is pretty much like what our universe is, I think. how time layers and folds back in on itself, you know. It's wild. It's like gravity. It's crazy. But this is a theory like that, you know, you got the Big Bang and all this shit. You know, like I joke around because I want to win like a Nobel Prize for this stuff. I'm gonna put out a book someday.
Well, let me ask you a question.
What is reality?
What is the relationship between time and gravity?
I think it's the same thing. That's the thing. I really do think gravity is a force that really, the weight of it can be measured, but you'll never find the graviton. The graviton exists in theory and concept, and what you're actually looking at, you'll never find a particle there because the particle is the concept, the theory that you're looking. You already have it. Once you've thought of it, you have it. You know what I mean? So it's like to control gravity is to not capture a graviton and tell it what to do. You know, that's lame because we have to understand that nature is a living thing. That the planets and the stars are like entities like us. Like we're actually lesser beings than them. You know, we're like lower down in the hierarchy of spiritual immortality. You know, so it's like we have to understand that and work with those beings and learn how to tickle them so that we can, you know, affect them. And it's like magic and technology need to come together. It's not really magic though, it's an understanding of the spiritual universe. Just like technology will be an application of our understanding of the spiritual universe, you know? So it's like, you know, what are we gonna do? Learn what particles make up our soul so we can trap it, you know? No, there's no such thing as Ghostbusters. It's like, that would be bad, you know? We can't do that, you know? It's like as bad as splitting an atom. Is worse than splitting an atom. Think about splitting an atom. What if the chain reaction never stopped and it just expanded from one section of the layer into the next section of the layer into the next section of the layer, okay? The chain reaction destroyed the universe and it fizzled out, but through the layers, okay? Every time you set off a nuclear reaction, you're fizzling out a point in time, okay? Like, I don't think it stops. I think we perceive it to stop. Just like I don't think there's a black hole at the center of our galaxy. I think there's a quasar and a black hole. I think we see a black hole because we see time going away. It's the drain of time, okay? It's the train crashing. That's the black hole, okay? And the quasar is time coming, and we can't see that. We can't see time coming in our own galaxy because it would mean that we're at the edge of the future and we're in the present, and we can't see. But we see time coming as our present, not as the future. So when we look through a telescope, we're always in the past looking up at the black hole. So we see quasars in other galaxies because other galaxies may be our own galaxy at another point in time, or perhaps, you know, infinite possibilities of where else galaxies are so huge that we'll never be able to leave our galaxy. You know, maybe when we do time travel, we can go to other worlds, leave our galaxy like Stargate, you know, and we'll find another world, but it won't be another world. It'll be like our own solar system in another place in time. Like Venus and Mars will encounter beings, and they won't even know about Earth, and the distance between will be so many billions of years that it doesn't even matter that we connect dimensionally, because
Ripple effect of the now with the water, that everything is correlated with our experience. Like a solar system out there could be correlated, which gives birth to the science of astrology.
Yeah, there you go. The influences dreams. That's the other thing. Like if you think we dream, and our creations are the galaxies outside of our own, right? Those are our dreams. And then when we wake up, those dreams come back to us as amoebas and stuff crawling in the microcosm. The macrocosm becomes the microcosm, and we absorb it into a new oneness, you know. And we go to do it all again, you know. And while we're awake, this is a collective consciousness that you know, come together. If you apply the different, like Joseph Elber's interactions of color, how we perceive colors, how they change when you put one color next to another color. The colors change. We perceive the colors different just by them being next to each other. In our vision, they blend and then they change. Okay, so it's the interactions of how we perceive colors will have a different effect. And so then you have RGB. If you follow the different types of color wheels too, you have RGB. You have all these different electric light color wheels. Okay, and this is one of them. And you have like a different set of primaries and secondaries. You know, that's really interesting because you have. Different. You get the aqua. Some people, aqua is like the seventh color, you know, which is cool because you know you want seven colors in the spectrum. There's 7 wavelengths, and that's how purple. This aqua eliminates the true purple, okay, because you only have red and you know you have the red, purple, and blue violet, red violet. True purple is hard to really exist in light. Okay, it's like. It's interesting. So you get this aqua kind of makes up for it, and I believe the 7 wavelengths of light are equal to the 7 tones, the 7 notes, the octave, the visual, the visual light spectrum, you know, the visible light spectrum, and the 7 notes of the octave, I think, are very similar. There's probably a parallel there. Einstein was also studying the philosophy of color before when he died. He was trying to equate all of this stuff to his theory of relativity, how everything was relative. It made us, what he came up with the, it's like the color wheel and the light spectrum, just the relationship between the two. It's like, you know, it's something he had to do with his theory of relativity didn't make any sense. Like he figured out it canceled out his E equals MC squared, which is good. Even though this is a rough draft, this is the 3rd version of the rough draft. As it keeps updating, I'm going to make it available if anybody wants to pay. I'm selling them for $10 online. If anybody wants to buy this or any of my other artwork to help support me while I work on bigger projects, so I can work on bigger projects, like What is Reality is a volume with this in it at a more academic level. But it's going to take a year of research and doing it. Each symbol will have a chapter linking it to the philosophy and science and physics. So anyway, if you want to support me, it's jsgstudios.net. Thank you.